Pokemon Day happened at the end of February and brought with it a lot of exciting news about Legends ZA, but it also brought an Outbreak event in Scarlet and Violet. Hello, I'm Hal, and I like Outbreak method hunting. Yeah, the graphical glitches aren't as nice to look at, and your lizard bike sometimes doing the opposite of what you ask it to do when your camera is faced the wrong way is annoying, but that's okay, because Outbreaks are pretty cool, and they're really good for my unmedicated ADHD brain. After spending 150 hours in Dark Cave and Heart Gold with no shiny so far, catching 30 little shiny guys in Scarlet helps my brain chemicals remain in the positive. As you can probably see, I now have a capture card, which is pretty cool. The last two videos I did utilize this, and I was trying to do a layout thing, like if I was streaming, but I don't really stream, and ended up not liking it that I did that afterward, so now we're going in raw, and this compilation is a little bit longer. Usually there's something like 3 to 9-ish shinies to catch in these events, but this time Pokemon gave us a huge pool of Pokemon to catch. 3 different species of Pokemon in each area of the game, Paldea, Kitakami, and Blueberry Academy, as well as catching enough for each evolution puts us at a total of 27 Pokemon. If you've seen my videos before, I usually do compilations without much talking because I'm shy and new at making videos, but this time I am including commentary. It's one step closer to having live reactions. I'll get there, I promise. So, let's head to Paldea where we'll find outbreaks of Charcadet, Smoliv, and Finizen. As I mentioned earlier, I like method hunting, so after we arrive at our first location, I start by knocking out 60 Pokemon. I like to use a mix of method and full odds hunting between different games. It's just more fun for me this way. So in Scarlet, I mostly hunt using methods. I'll only use sandwiches if I have to, because I hate doing raids, so I almost never have Herba Mystica. And I did something that I've been meaning to do for a long time. I turned nicknaming back on. Last year when I was playing through the game again, I turned off pretty much every extra in the settings to streamline my playthrough. But that also meant a lot of my shinies were going unnamed, so I finally turned the settings back on and now we can nickname every single one of our little guys. I won't lie, I definitely had to Google things when trying to name some of these. I think Kalamata is like the only olive related thing that I know. And I still have 2 more Smoliv to catch and evolve and figure out nicknames for. The next 2 Smoliv came very quickly, only about 5 minutes apart from each other. This time I had pre-googled Olive information and had 2 names ready to go, although I did have to rearrange them a little bit because I was planning out which ones I wanted to evolve. However, we're not doing any evolutions just yet. I decided to make my way to the next outbreak first to find a couple of Charcadet. This hunt went faster than I expected it to. Charcadet's shiny changes only the flames of its eyes, so it can be really tricky to see. Even though I already had an Armarouge for my recent shiny badge quest, these guys were going to be for my home living dex, and I wanted to catch all of these Pokemon on Pokemon Day, the 27th. You may have noticed that I caught a few extra Charcadet. I only need 3 to fill up my living dex, but I knew I would need to trade something to get the malicious armor only available in Violet, so I caught a couple extras to trade away while I was here. Once again, turning to the vast internet for answers, I named the 3 for my living dex after suns or stars, and picked some generic stuff for the ones I would trade away. I wasn't able to find a trade partner at this moment, so I moved on to the next outbreak, Finizen. I don't think anyone likes hunting around Castaroya Lake, and I'm sure most people don't like hunting in the water in these games in general. Controlling your bike in water feels like sliding on ice, and auto-battling is slow without the right Pokemon. The worst part though, in my opinion, is dodging Veluza. Absolutely bonkers Pokemon. I mean, look at this thing!
I'm killing you. I'm killing you. I don't care about anything else. I don't give a shit about anything else. My programming is just get that fucking guy right now. It doesn't, there is no like, oh, he's running? I'll back off a little.
0 out of 10. Honestly hope Pokemon never does this again. Just like with Charcadet, I ended up sticking around for another Finizen. I didn't need more than 2, but Finizen doesn't show up in Outbreaks much from my experience, so I thought it couldn't hurt to have an extra. And thus concludes the Outbreaks in Paldea. Now, the real challenge was about to begin. The Outbreak Pokemon in Kitakami were Applin, Poliwag, and Sewaddle. Luckily, I started with Sewaddle by chance, and the Outbreak was in an open, flat area which made knocking out 60 of these little bugs a breeze. Having a capture card now is both a blessing and a curse. There's way more footage to look through than just the 30-second clips I've gotten used to from the Switch. That's part of why this video took a whole month to edit, and the longer it took to edit, the more I forgot what I was doing and thinking during the time of hunting. I know I'll get better at managing my footage, but I think some kind of journal or diary to go along with these bigger hunts is a good idea. Plus, I need to actually record my reactions, then I won't have to script quite so much. But for now, you'll just have to listen to me yammer. Actually, before I get going again, let's look at some of these evolutions. So, the first shiny I found in this Poliwag outbreak was this Volbeat. Yeah, I had been running around for at least 30 minutes before this thing showed up, and if it hadn't, I'm not sure when I would have found these Poliwags. See, I'm used to Poliwag looking like this. It's one of the first chain fishing shinies I ever caught in Pokemon Y, but in Scarlet, it looks like this. I couldn't believe it when I saw the discussions online. Yeah, you can see the difference, but the lighting in Scarlet makes it crazy hard, especially for the first one. Sometimes I was definitely arguing with the demons in my head, telling me whether a Poliwag was shiny or not. After that first hurdle, it does get a little easier to spot them, but oh man, who even knows how many shiny Poliwags I passed up before that Volbeat made me question everything. After catching and evolving Swirly, Twirly, and Gumdrop, I caught one more Poliwag for an eventual Politoad evolution, but I needed Hingsrock first. I seem kind of hesitant to walk into some of these Poliwags, but I couldn't include the numerous amount of times I walked into completely normal, not shiny Poliwags. Thankfully, this was the last one I needed, and we can now move on to the last Kitakami Pokemon, Applin. Kitakami was kinda crazy for this event. The gimmick of the Outbreaks were red, blue, and green colored Pokemon for Pokemon Day celebrating the release of the first generation games. So of course we have Swaddle for green, Poliwag for blue, and Applin for red. But for Paldea, there were only 8 Pokemon to catch, each base form plus evolution. The Pokemon they picked for Kitakami adds up to 12. I think part of the reason they have so many is because if you add up all of the evolutionary stages in each region, you get 27. Which of course is the date for Pokemon Day. I have to believe this was on purpose. Also, I am cheating a little bit here. I wanted to catch all the Pokemon Day Outbreak event Pokemon on Pokemon Day. And one day, I accidentally left the clock to roll over. So I had to find a new Outbreak. It's also kind of crazy that finding the shiny green Applin in the grass was like 100 times easier than trying to spot a shiny Poliwag. So far, not including extras, we've caught 20 of the shiny event Outbreak Pokemon. But actually, technically, I've caught 21. See, I realized one of the Applin I caught was on the wrong date. I kind of lost control of my footage, so I don't know which Applin it was, but they're all right now, and... Oh, I forgot to check for marks. Well, we'll just have to go through the whole box at the end of the video and see what we got then. If you made it this far, thank you, and congratulations! Finally, we are in the home stretch. Blueberry Academy was by far the easiest area, technically, with only 7 Pokemon to catch. Porygon is one of my favorite weird little guys. It's so hard to pick favorite Pokemon nowadays with so many to choose from, so even though it's a little lower on the list, it's still a really cool Pokemon in my opinion. Porygon 2 and Porygon Z are neat too, of course, but there's really something special about the shapes and animations of the original Porygon. Doing this Outbreak made me think about how much I do really like it, and want to draw it more. Sometimes in Outbreaks, I get crazy luck. There's almost zero editing here. After I get out of the battle with the Porygon I named Macintosh, only 30 seconds pass before the next one appears. The only thing I cut out was the post-battle text, which takes 2 to 5 business days to get through, and going into the menu to save my game. Of course, that meant I was definitely going to have abysmal luck later, as we'll see. There's this really cute corner of the coastal biome right next to the plaza where this Lapras outbreak spawned. Which is great, because I really didn't want to hunt in the water again. The outbreak was pretty easy to KO too, since they would just keep spawning as long as I kept my distance. This hunt did take a little longer than I was expecting, probably because of the insane luck I got with the Porygon outbreak, but I didn't think much of it. And this was not even the worst of it. Let's talk about my horrible decision to hunt Scyther in this cave! I thought, hey, this might be a good spot, since it's kind of isolated. I was in here for like an hour, and then I realized there was a second floor I could reach with Scyther actively spawning. Going up and down to check both levels was not that bad, but after spending so much time here, thinking how many Scyther I probably missed was very defeating. Eventually, I got tired and just stopped right outside the cave to pick up again later. When I came back, I opened up the game and just stood there. I didn't start recording. I wasn't even paying attention. And there was just a stupid penguin sitting out there, taunting me the whole time. I didn't even record it properly, I was so surprised. It was just there. Needless to say, I gave up on this area and found a little spot in the Savannah biome instead. Now this is what I'm talking about. I think I was out here like a total of 30 minutes. I don't know what was up with that cave, but it was cursed with no shiny Scyther. I had to keep in mind now that I needed 3 Scyther to evolve into Kleavor as well. Sorry I don't have a lot of the evolution footage, especially the trades and stuff, but I kind of feel bad asking sometimes for help with trades when I have nothing to give in return. Well, now that we've caught all 27 Pokemon, and 3 little extras, let's check the whole box of 30 to see what marks we got. Thank you so much for watching my video. I'm still trying to get my footing in the community, so any help is appreciated. I know basically everyone says this, but likes and subscribes if you like my stuff really is helpful. I also post smaller updates on social media, and I have a few more videos already planned and coming soon. Wishing you shiny luck!